risultati dell'indagine PIAC restituiscono un quadro estremamente preoccupante per tutti coloro che condividono la convinzione che bassi livelli di competenze non possano accompagnare processi di sviluppo occupazionale e di inclusione sociale. In molti paesi considerati, un adulto su 5 ha scarse capacità di literacy e 1 su 4 di numeracy. Ma in Italia il fenomeno dei low skilled caratterizza poco meno del 30% della popolazione. In Europa si trovano in questa condizione 70 milioni di persone, di cui 13 sono italiani. È un'importante parte della popolazione che si espone a un elevato rischio di scontare svantaggi economici e sociali, con retribuzioni basse o insufficienti, spesso ottenute in situazioni di precarietà occupazionale, con maggiori probabilità di disoccupazione e una maggiore predisposizione a subire problemi di salute. Questi stessi cittadini con bassi livelli di competenze sono coloro che tendenzialmente partecipano di meno alla vita sociale, con gravi ripercussioni sul pieno esercizio della cittadinanza attiva e sulla qualità della coesione sociale. Il fenomeno caratterizza tutta la popolazione e tutte le fasce di età. La combinazione di particolari condizioni socio-demografiche può comportare una maggiore probabilità di essere low skilled. Gli adulti che non hanno completato l'istruzione secondaria superiore, ad esempio, hanno un rischio molto elevato di ritrovarsi nei più bassi livelli di competenza. Questo svantaggio, derivato da un titolo di studio basso, può essere ulteriormente accresciuto dalla combinazione con altre variabili legate alle condizioni di vita.
When we wanted to use electronic portfolio in this group of young adults, they all they didn't want to participate. They said, I don't want to participate in that because I do not have any formal education, so I do not have anything to show. I think in our case the value of non-formal learning is not recognized in a right way, because in our case I think we are still actually we think we value something if we have a formal certificate or a formal diploma. And when they started to make portfolio, actually at the end of the process they said, oh,
Assenza di titoli e qualificazioni non significa non saper fare o conoscere nulla. Molte esperienze di diverso tipo e intensità appartengono al vissuto di tutti. Saperle riconoscere è importante per contrastare perdita di autostima e voglia di progredire e di investire su se stessi. Riconoscere tali competenze è il primo passo per poterle validare e costruire i propri percorsi per certificarle. Riflettere da soli è difficile e il supporto di strumenti e metodologie e operatori specializzati è necessario per ricostruire la motivazione a rimettersi in gioco. Non è mai troppo tardi per imparare.
We, the Profipas, offers like boxes of your biography where it's a voyage of self. People often give us feedback and say the journey into my biography, into my competences was already inspiring enough and gave me enough self-confidence and enough ideas, clear and concrete ideas that I can tell in interviews and say, look, this is what I can do because I found out that these are my special strengths.
Not talk of before that in the Kosovo being a war, and my generation from Kosovo maybe not have nothing, another documentation like me, because after war I come here, and simply I'm not existed in the Kosovo. Nobody not find me in the Kosovo. I'm not there. I hope, and Kosovo gonna be in Europe, and everything is gonna be alright for us who's had that problem before. But for now, I'm very happy. I find myself. I'm working here, I helping here, and I tell another people, oh, it's good that this is one big step for all the people who coming here to need help. No, but I'm speaking for no. After 2 years, I have a lot of doors open because I going and teaching for Javelli on the all Slovenia, and I feel proud for that, you know, because I'm somebody, and that somebody I'm who I want to be, you know.
Yeah.
Not somebody I must to do that, but who I want to be.
Durante la fase esplorativa e di dialogo tra allievo e operatore educativo si perseguono il rinforzo della motivazione ad apprendere, l'incremento della consapevolezza e fiducia in sé, lo sviluppo di quelle capacità riflessive che saranno preziose nella fase successiva, quella dell'apprendimento vero e proprio. Il percorso di riconoscimento e validazione delle competenze è la storia di un investimento, di una relazione tra chi è portatore di un bisogno e chi di competenze. Se la relazione è a successo è un vantaggio per entrambi, ma le conseguenze di una relazione fallimentare producono un danno solo per una delle due parti. La qualità del servizio e del processo relazionale si fonda sulla competenza dell'operatore, che quindi deve essere consapevole delle proprie responsabilità.
I'm really interested in providing or development of lifelong learning, not exactly only adult education, but to see all this process starting from very early childhood till the adult education. When you speak about lifelong learning, you think automatically that this goes to adult education, but these are not this is a bit narrowed concept. Concept is much more wider.
Ciò che accomuna policies, indagini e innovazioni normative è che al tema dell'apprendimento in età adulta non ci si riferisca più solo in termini settoriali, ovvero considerandolo un segmento specialistico dell'offerta educativa e formativa per una parte della popolazione, ma anche come un sistema complesso a cui assegnare finalità di sostegno di un modello di sviluppo capace di tenere insieme e mettere in equilibrio obiettivi di sviluppo economico e del capitale umano in un'ottica inclusiva. Il dibattito scientifico ha convenuto ormai sulla relativa utilità di valutare le conoscenze e i saperi delle persone in un momento specifico della vita delle stesse o in una sola fase del processo della loro acquisizione. Indicatori quali anni di istruzione o livello dei titoli posseduti, rispettivamente di input e di output, al di là della comparabilità tra sistemi e paesi, sono certamente utili, ma non sufficienti per impostare politiche integrate di sviluppo e di innovazione anche a supporto di finalità di incremento della coesione sociale.
Adult learning, as any other education area, has a link to many other areas. It's related to the labor market, it's related to health, it's related to personal development, it's related to social issues, lone mothers, so we can have a big couple of topics, and adult learning has an impact on everything. For us, as an adult educational institution, we try to get
holistic approaches, or to follow a holistic approach. It's not just education. It's about the whole person, it's about his personality, it's about his social life and his family, and we have to be aware of this, of the whole situation.
As soon as people or society will recognize the real value of so-called transversal skills, the importance of non-formal and also informal education will rise up. Because there are already researchers which shows that we need to develop not only those who are taking jobs, but those who are creating jobs. And as soon as we are discussing about the ways how to create jobs, the things which are provided more by non-formal, informal education, they are growing their own importance. I was involved in a group checking and learning about innovative competencies and providing entrepreneurship skills in Asia and in Europe. And we found out that there is a real difference of attitudes towards lifelong learning in Europe and in Asia, because in Europe we really focused more and more on formal education and providing adult education in the context of labor market. In Asia, they are more promoting, because of lacking literacy, etc., they are more promoting those concepts on non-formal education in a correlation with those transversal skills.
It's matter of values, not matter of skills.
So I can say the challenge of our new era is how to link those two concepts.
Misurare il capitale umano significa includere in esso l'insieme delle conoscenze, delle competenze e degli attributi che concorrono alla creazione di benessere personale, oltre che economico e sociale. La competenza diventa un prodotto il cui valore deve essere misurabile sia in termini di uso che se ne può fare, sia in termini di scambio, ovvero il valore che individui e interlocutori degli stessi, gruppi primari o secondari per scopi di socializzazione e riconoscimento sociale, ma soprattutto il mercato del lavoro, sono disposti a riconoscere. Dispositivi di messa in trasparenza, con finalità descrittive o narrative, spesso gestiti direttamente e in autonomia dall'adulto, mostrano tutti i propri limiti in termini di efficacia in un mercato del lavoro che permane ancorato nelle fasi di reclutamento all'accertamento del possesso di titoli e qualifiche formali. Riconoscimento, validazione e certificazione delle competenze sono termini entrati nel vocabolario comune di chi si occupa di apprendimento permanente e soprattutto di adult learning. Ma accezioni e significati, soprattutto in relazione agli obiettivi e al valore dei processi e dei risultati, cambiano, a volte in modo radicale, secondo le differenti prospettive di chi li utilizza. Agenzie formative, rappresentanze dei discenti adulti o datori di lavoro sono portati spesso a enfatizzarne alcuni contenuti rispetto ad altri.
It will be crucial to have the employers on board. But I think validation is something that all employers should be interested in. If you talk to employers, they will often tell you, yes, we have people who have a formal qualification, be they a high school certificate or a university certificate, but they still don't have some of the skills and competences that we urgently need. Employers keep saying, we need people who are creative, who can work in a team, who can, who are punctual, who have a good attitude, and so on. So,
when it comes to validation of skills and competencies, we understand that there are two levels. The first level is that other people or organizations or employers want to know what the people bring with them as skills and competencies, but as well the people themselves, they need to know what are their competencies and skills, because very often they don't have a clue about what they are able to do. So what we are starting with is not validation, we are starting with assessment. And assessment means that we want the people to learn by themselves what their skills and competencies are.
My view on, let's say, validation and recognition is, on the one hand, it's quite important because if I get an application from a person, I want to know what this person has as a qualification and what she knows and what she has done and what her competencies are. On the other hand, I think it usually means that you squeeze a very broad level of competencies and skills into a certain formalization.
A giudicare dai bassi tassi di partecipazione degli adulti alle opportunità formative ed educative esistenti per l'acquisizione di titoli e conoscenze, anche non necessariamente di livello elevato, ma adatte e pertinenti rispetto alle proprie strategie di vita e di lavoro, scegliere di investire sulle proprie competenze richiede un'intenzionalità e una motivazione molto, spesso troppo, elevate. Scarsa autostima, precedenti esperienze di fallimento, cronicizzazione della precarietà, progressiva perdita della fiducia nel valore della conoscenza e della competenza impattano sulla capacità di riflettere sui propri punti di forza. Accompagnare gli individui nelle fasi di identificazione e valorizzazione di questi punti di forza è un'attività che deve concludersi con il raggiungimento dell'obiettivo della validazione. In questo senso, la validazione può assumere valore strategico, come risultato atteso attrattivo e potenzialmente utile per tutti coloro che non accedono agli esistenti servizi di orientamento e di counseling.
Les conseillers VAE ont souvent mené des petites recherches sur la motivation des candidats VAE dans leurs universités. Et donc, ce qu'on observe d'abord, c'est que les motivations changent en cours de procédure. Donc, souvent, la motivation à l'entrée, c'est de dire je veux une augmentation salariale, je veux une reconnaissance de diplôme pour négocier une augmentation salariale dans mon diplôme. Ça, c'est une part des motivations. Et cette motivation-là change très vite après un entretien ou deux entretiens avec le conseiller VAE et change dans la motivation qui est plus de l'estime de soi. Ou la motivation qui est je vais enfin tenter ma chance à l'université, je vais essayer d'accéder à l'université. Et cette deuxième motivation change en une troisième motivation au moment du jury, où le jury va évaluer, va dire ok, votre expérience est bonne, vous accédez à une formation universitaire. Et donc ça va être de l'estime de soi renforcée qui va être presque de l'ordre du défi ou du challenge. Voilà, j'ai prouvé que je savais accéder à l'université, j'ai prouvé que j'avais... Vous voyez, donc on pense. Et puis après, la formation se passe, les étudiants sont très forts dans cette motivation-là, et puis ils rechangent en fin de parcours en disant j'ai eu une estime de soi renforcée, maintenant je suis en capacité de négocier mon augmentation salariale.
Well, I would say that no one is interested in nothing. It's this challenge to get the people and to find out what they are interested in. Whether it's football, whether it's playing on the computer, whether it is. So there is a way to, but you have to address this way, and you shouldn't come from the, let's say, from the normal pathway. So I'm educationist and I think I know what is good for you. That's the wrong way. So you have to address the people by their interests.
I sistemi di riconoscimento, validazione e certificazione delle competenze informali e non formali presentano in Europa molti elementi di similitudine e alcune importanti differenziazioni. Per l'adulto che ha deciso di veder valorizzato l'insieme delle competenze che possiede, indipendentemente da quando, dove e come le abbia acquisite, è fondamentale conoscere chi fa cosa e come lo fa. Indipendentemente dai sistemi in vigore, ciò che è certamente comune è la definizione delle competenze degli operatori chiamati a guidare i processi di interazione con coloro che richiedono questi servizi. Le norme rilevanti arrivano a stabilire i requisiti di accesso alla professione del counselor o del valutatore, gli standard formativi, i processi di accreditamento delle strutture presso le quali gli operatori possono incontrare i loro clienti.
So the counselor, that you are absolutely right, Profipas is like what you explained that you have in Italy is based on the biography, it's based on narration, and it's very open. So we don't measure competences that I identify here, we don't put them against standards.
Okay.
So it's a very open method. So it's just the idea that we start with the idea that everybody has competences and skills and strengths, and they need encouragement by the counselor in order to detect it and in order to find out. So it's a counseling and guidance tool, and we also have a network of trainers and a network of we call counselors that are qualified based on a curriculum, and the curriculum is delivering ideas for counselors who are already counseled, but we use the method in order to guide people through their biography with creative methods.
Yeah.
At the field of NVQ, we have 151 provider at the time, and that means 151 organization which actually gives certificates of NVQ through a certain procedure. All providers have to fulfill two big conditions. So they have to have a trained counselor for NVQ, and they have to fulfill a certain material condition. That means that they have to have a proper examination place where the exams for NVQ goes on. And the assessors within the NVQ systems, the assessors are independent experts. So they're pointed out by the National Examination Institute, and assessors have to fulfill three main conditions. They have to have a certain level and certain field of formal education. They have to have at least 5 years of working experience in the field they are going to assess within the NVQ system, and actually the assessors have to complete the 4-day training program which is going on at our institute, because our institute is the main provider of the training program for the assessors of NVQ. Our assessors are coming mostly from the labor market, because they're experts in their fields, and I won't say all of them, but I will say a lot of them are coming to training program without any pedagogical experience, without the philosophy of accreditation, without the philosophy that non-formally gained knowledge has a certain value.
Main part of our department is accreditation, and the little part of it is this validation of the professional competences acquired outside formal education system. So we are the coordinators, we do not do the recognition of these skills. We delegate the right to do the examinations to education establishments that are accredited in specific skills, specific professions that they can do. So we are the ones that just check all the legal requirements and see if they are accredited, if they have experience in examination, and after that we delegate the right to do the examinations. So the person turns into this establishment and says, I have the skills and the knowledge, I want a document. Please give me a document so everybody can see that I actually do know these things. So the school organizes examination, and the examination is a specific legal order. It's the theoretical part and practical part. It's qualification examination, so it does not validate the education it does validates the qualification. And in this situation, mostly people do not have to have any kind of education before they take this exam. Exceptions, they have to be 18 years old, as the legal system says that up till 18 years old they have to be in public schools. The formal education have to be there. So after 18 years, if they know something, they have trained, they have done this, they can take the exam. So it's quite popular at the moment, and it's used, as you were interested, it is used by people who have lost jobs and want to take a different course in their life. At the same time, big part of people who take the exams are due to changes in legal system and legal requirements for specific profession.
Molti degli strumenti utilizzati adottano metodologie basate su narrazioni autobiografiche guidate, che portano alla definizione di portfolio o dossier individuali, spesso anche in formato digitale. Uno degli strumenti che potrebbe essere considerato archetipico e che ha originato adattamenti per l'utilizzo anche in altri paesi è lo strumento tedesco noto come Profilpass, che, nato nel 2005 per accompagnare i processi di validazione delle competenze dei giovani, prevede oggi una versione specifica per la fascia di età adulta.
I can show you here the Profilpass Blue, we call it. It's addressed more or less to adults that have already a biography of working. And in 2006 we developed the Profilpass for young people, we call it. For young people who are in school, who are about to leave school, or sometimes also students use it in order to find out what can I do, what are my strengths, and in order to find out what direction will I go. This is the tool, this is the offer. First they identified one activity, and I can show it in the camera maybe, and in the second column they describe everything they can think of that is attached to this activity. Everything. And in the second column they try to extract what have I learned. Yeah. Okay. If I look at this, what have I learned? And here you were asking about counselors. The work for the counselors is very important here to inspire people, because often people think, I have no experiences, no hobbies. But you have to ask them and to, what are you doing in your spare time? What do you like? And then people start by drawing or what else, and then you have to help them also to find words for it, because Profilpass is a written tool. That's why we sometimes get the feedback that it's not so much useful for people who have difficulties in writing and reading. They need more help. But I'm coming back to this. So extraction is again a focus on what have I learned. And here it's a self-evaluation. People evaluate their skills on different levels, and these levels are A, B, C. It's very similar to the language reference that we have in Europe. So in the end, if you fill out the Profilpass, and then if you look at it in the end, and you look, for example, especially at competences of level C that you can do also in other contexts, strength, then you can finally balance everything that you have written in a proof, in a kind of in a final document, in a certificate that you can get, that where you write down most of the competences you have, and that is also signed by the counselor. This is just the pattern, a sample of the Profilpass certificate. No? So the idea is to be of the pro-papers is a very open idea. It's very open to all competences. It's not about assessing competences.
No,
it's about
not
identifying.
Qualifications.
In the time of digitalization, it's the use of e-portfolio that also helps individuals to develop their digital competences. So that, I think, is an important point. It's more practical.
When we started to use electronic portfolio in a practice, we faced a situation that there is a certain amount of people which you couldn't get into it. Actually, you couldn't get into it. No matter what you do, they are actually, I would use an expression, so afraid of technology that they don't want to be nearby. So we make a choice that they could actually make a paper portfolio, because our main goal was that they come out of the procedure with a paper and with something to show. So that is actually our purpose, to make them, to enable them to organize their evidences of non-formal knowledge, but actually in a structured way, so they could see the value of it and that they could see that they could use that in different situations.
My personal opinion is the long-term unemployed, or even those employed that haven't been in any training, or all those that are being inactive for a longer period of time. Because this is a way to get them activated. Even our counselors say that once they come, the problem is to get them to come, but once they come and they start working with them, it just goes like that. They start educating, going to workshops, their lifestyle changes, their opinion of themselves, which is probably the most important changes. So once they become active.
Condividiamo in Europa il problema di governare più efficacemente i sistemi di validazione e certificazione delle competenze. Norme, strumenti, processi e infrastrutture appaiono definite e ben strutturate nella maggioranza dei nostri paesi. Ma un grande stimolo a migliorare e a rendere evidenti i vantaggi che derivano dalla messa in pratica di ciò che abbiamo già può provenire dalle centinaia di esperienze pratiche che quotidianamente dappertutto vengono costruite et réalisate.
Alors un petit mot sur le dispositif de validation, peut-être vous avez déjà entendu parler de ce dispositif, très rapidement. Donc, il a été créé par 3 gouvernements qui se sont dit on va se mettre autour de la table et on va essayer de réfléchir à une façon de valoriser les compétences des personnes qui sont dans une situation difficile, qui ont perdu leur emploi. Et donc ceci s'est fait avec les partenaires sociaux, le gouvernement, etc. Donc on est au-delà de l'école, après 18 ans. Et donc c'est vraiment permettre aux citoyens, hommes, femmes, de valoriser ces compétences dans un centre de validation reconnu, agréé. C'est gratuit. Donc toute personne peut venir. La personne d'abord doit choisir un métier. On ne vient pas au centre de validation des compétences en disant qu'est-ce que vous me proposez. Non, il faut d'abord choisir un métier. Alors comment ça se passe? Eh bien le candidat est soumis à des épreuves. Donc ça n'est pas un dossier. On vient, voilà, je sais faire ça, voilà mon dossier, au revoir, merci, je prends mon titre de compétence. C'est pas ça. C'est une mise en situation professionnelle reconstituée. Et donc la personne doit travailler en rapport avec le métier choisi. Une des caractéristiques du dispositif, c'est que les métiers sont découpés. 4 unités de compétences ou 5 unités de compétences. Ça veut dire qu'on peut se faire valider pour 1, 2, 3 ou 4. Alors, l'expérience chez Caterpillar, ici. Lorsqu'il y a eu la vague de licenciements, il y a eu une réunion avec la délégation syndicale, les patrons et des représentants des travailleurs. Il y a un délégué syndical qui a tapé sur la table et il a dit « Nous exigeons que Caterpillar paye la validation des compétences des ouvriers. » C'était une exigence syndicale. Ils ont demandé. Donc la direction de Caterpillar a marqué son accord pour la validation des compétences des conducteurs de chariots élévateurs et des tuteurs en entreprise. Pour l'instant, nous avons validé 400 conducteurs de chariots élévateurs, 400 personnes. Les tuteurs en entreprise, un peu plus que 100 personnes.
Alors, la façon de penser au niveau de la validation des compétences, chaque métier, on s'est dit, bon, comment on peut décomposer ce métier-là? Pour le métier d'aide ménagère, on a effectué 2 compositions. La première composition est tout simplement l'entretien de l'habitat, c'est-à-dire l'entretien de cet habitat en entièreté, avec bien sûr cuisine, salle à manger, salle de bain. Et après, la deuxième partie, c'est l'entretien du linge. Donc ça, c'est les 2 grosses particularités pour le métier d'aide ménagère. Alors la première partie, qui est entretien de l'habitat, pour pouvoir donc tester ces personnes-là, nous avons reconstitué une habitation comme vous allez le voir ici. Nous avons une cuisine, une salle à manger, nous avons plusieurs sols, par exemple du parquet, de la moquette, qui sont un peu âgés donc maintenant et qui contiennent donc du velours, du cuir, etc. Donc on a tous ces meubles ont été choisis donc d'une façon analysée. Après, de l'autre côté, nous avons aussi reconstitué une salle de bain aussi, donc qui est là. Donc tout cet habitat sert donc pour l'entretien de l'habitat, qui est la première unité de compétence. Donc le métier d'aide ménagère est découpé en 2 unités de compétences. La première qui est l'entretien de l'habitat, la deuxième qui est l'entretien du linge. Alors il y a un temps déterminé pour chaque unité de compétence. Par exemple, la première unité de compétence qui est l'entretien de la maison est au maximum 3 heures. C'est-à-dire c'est le candidat finit au bout d'1 heure, c'est très bien. S'il finit au bout de 2 heures, c'est très bien. Mais il ne peut pas aller au-delà de 3 heures. Parce que, surtout sur le monde des métiers, comme je vous dis, comme j'explique souvent aux personnes dans les séances d'information, on peut avoir construit sa propre maison tout seul, brique par brique, mais qu'on n'a pas été à l'école, mais on se dit, oh, je suis capable, je suis maçon. Donc, notre but à nous, c'est de se dire, bon voilà, cette personne-là, vous êtes capable, vous avez les compétences, et on va vous fournir une certification.
We are doing guidance, that's interesting for you, and therefore we use the profile path since 10 years. It started very slowly, we have to convince people, but when it began we needed it, but this changement of patchwork biographies, it came slowly, but now it's accelerating, and therefore more and more people are coming and they are saying I have to change. And it's interesting to convince them not only to look on their formal qualification and to convince them that their informal experience when they are adults is also valuable. But in the mind, it's difficult to convince because in Germany, Herr Rosenstein may say it much better than me, we are a society which is very much concentrated on formal education. I see it when I struggle for possibilities for the refugees. Why are we going to promise that we will welcome the refugees and afterwards we have barriers.
Molti dei progetti locali incontrati ci hanno narrato storie di grande impegno, di ricerca dell'innovazione negli interventi e a volte di successi. Ma ogni intervistato ha tenuto a sottolineare che si trova ad operare spesso in contesti nei quali risorse insufficienti, incoerenze tra normativa generale e leggi specifiche dirette ad altrettanto specifici gruppi di beneficiari e difficoltà derivanti da una governance multilivello inefficiente costituiscono elementi di ostacolo che non possono essere superati da impegno e motivazione degli operatori o dall'efficacia potenziale degli strumenti e dei processi adottati.
We don't have as a special target groups German-speaking people with problems on basic skills. And therefore we are concentrated on this. We are not doing courses for people who need school certifications, because here in Bonn everybody is thinking we don't have these people in the city. So we have if you speak about our clients, we have the clients coming by themselves and coming because they're interested in learning. And we have the clients who are sent by the institutions, in our case mainly from the organization which is concentrated on the integration process. In other cities you have adult education centers who are working together with the agents of employment. If you have problems with the employment rate, you are often concentrated on these projects. We had some small of them, but really small ones, and now we are trying to make projects to give more opportunities for the refugees to find jobs, but it's really difficult. We try to do, but we have a labor market which is too advanced for the qualification. There's a mismatch between the qualification of the refugees and the regional and local labor market. And then you can do projects, but where does this finish if you are qualifying them, and if you are qualifying them on a level which doesn't fit? We need massively money for these basic skill problems. Let's talk about the results of this refugee crisis in 10 years. If they continue like this, we will have a second amount of marginalized labor force which is resting on a certain level where they are constantly marginalized and will also cause social problems. And this is the problem we have in our system. We have still this combination between the regional and the national level. And till now, perhaps after the elections it will change, till now we have it's forbidden to cooperate between the national and the regional level. It's the so-called Kooperationsverbot. No? It's forbidden to cooperate, so the national level can finance more or less, besides small projects like a profile pass, they can finance research, and the money we need on the local level, we don't receive it. And I had a phone call from the university, here from the medical care of the university. The director told me, we have many people in our cleaning system, and most of them are quite low skilled, and now, imagine, they need people on the middle or on the higher level to instruct the whole system. And they asked us if we could do a basic skill course, because they have a lack of instruction people in the field of cleaning. They have sufficient people who know to clean, but now they need a management level, even for these people. And this management level, which is quite low, has to pass a certification at the Chamber of Commerce and Industry. For us it's really difficult, because some of our refugees, they are really deceived because they dream about jobs which they won't have. And when I look to the quality of jobs we give them, I'm sure that they will lose their literacy competence, because what they are doing, they are cleaning, they are serving, they are preparing meals, they are cleaning dishes or something like this. No question to write or to read. In Germany now the employers, they demand level B2 if they want to engage a refugee. And then you are engaged on level B2 in a hotelery or in a cleaning enterprise. Yeah, you worked for months to reach the level B2, and then you clean the floor. We make people coming from countries, and we expect that they learn the German language on a level B2 in 1.5 years. I always say to my politicians, try perhaps to learn Arabic language on level B2 in 1 year. And now we have these poor refugees. We didn't have them in the 90s. The Russians were well paid, but now we have these poor refugees with debts because they have to pay for the boat and for the family and so on. And they are constantly leaving bad paid jobs, even in our region, because their families said to them. I have the experience with some employers here. They said to me, I had a refugee working in my hotel, and then they left because the family didn't believe that he earned such a small amount of money. They went on, And now we have guidance, and we try to convince them that at the beginning they don't earn too much, and they have to convince their families at home that it will take a bit of time until they earn a bit more.
Abbiamo scelto questo modo di narrare il nostro viaggio, un modo che privilegiasse le immagini dei luoghi, dei laboratori e dei centri di educazione degli adulti visitati e le parole dei protagonisti che abbiamo incontrato rispetto a commenti e analisi del ricercatore. Restituire la ricchezza della complessità dei contesti nei quali le visite di studio sono state effettuate non è semplice, ma la nostra responsabilità è anche quella di rendere maggiormente comprensibile un quadro rispetto al quale i policy maker sono chiamati a prendere con urgenza importanti decisioni, come anche la raccomandazione Upskilling Pathways incoraggia a fare.
I think our field is over-complex for politics. I think the field of adult education is over-complex. We need a new way of marketing for adult education to make a better understanding for politicians about our work.
If we look at the complexity of adult learning, we cannot be complex enough. The challenge is to bring the results to the politicians as simple as possible, and that's the real challenge. But then the next step is to say, yes, adult learning in general has a positive impact. It may not count, or it may not be countable or measurable in economic terms, but it has a positive impact. And if it has a positive impact, and if it is simply a positive impact that someone who is not used to learn says, oh yes, that was fine, I go the next step, I take the next course, or I go to the next dancing class or whatever, then it's fine.